Good to have you with us. You're watching The Big Story with me, Avni Raja. Now we're about a month into the national lockdown, and so far India has recorded well over 18,000 coronavirus cases. In fact, the number at this point in time stands at 18,601, with the death toll rising to 590. Now, of the total cases, more than 14,700 are active, which means 3,252 patients have recovered. And the recovery rate in India at the moment is 17.4%. Now, at a time when the Ministry of Home Affairs has deployed 6 interministerial teams to assess the lockdown situation in various hotspots in 4 different states, a major face-off has broken out between the Bengal government and the centre. Now, the Bengal government has questioned the centre on its move. An interministerial team, meanwhile, has claimed that they are not getting access to the areas hit by coronavirus in West Bengal as well. Meanwhile, central teams have also reached Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan as well to assess the implementation of the lockdown. Now, even as the 2 interministerial teams have reached Bengal, a member from the interministerial team in the state has claimed that he was blocked by the Bengal government from entering a COVID-hit area today. The central government team member claimed that while other states have cooperated with them, the Bengal government has not extended the same support.
We have been deployed here by the central government. We came here yesterday. And our order of deployment also says that the state government is to provide logistic support to us. We have been in touch. I have been in touch with the Chief Secretary since yesterday, since the time I landed, seeking support from the state government to visit the areas. We also met the Chief Secretary last evening at 6 p.m. at Navarna, where we were assured that today we will again have a meeting and we will be going out for taken around. But today we were informed that there are some issues.
Now, the Bengal government, of course, has been very vocal in voicing its disapproval to this interministerial teams being deployed into hotspots and into various areas in West Bengal where coronavirus has hit. Now, after Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, TMC leader Derek O'Brien has also dubbed the visit by these teams as adventure tourism, in fact, pointing out that 6 states selected so far, 5 are ruled by opposition parties. Listen in.
The states, including Bengal, are going all out fighting corona. But today we must ask, unfortunately, the central government is going all out fighting the states. Is this the spirit of federalism? Is this what is enshrined in our constitution? We really need to know what were the parameters by which these states have been selected. As you know, Maharashtra 2, Bengal 2, means two of these groups have gone there, ministerial groups. 2 from Bengal, for Bengal, 2 for Maharashtra, 1 for Madhya Pradesh, and 1 for Rajasthan. What is the basis? What is the criteria for selecting these? We really humbly want to ask the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. Let me give you some specifics. As it is, out of the 6 which have been chosen, 5 are opposition states, but we can come to our own conclusions.
Let me in fact go across to Tamal, who's joining us for more details. So Tamal, this has turned out to become a full-fledged political war. Another reason for war between the TMC and the BJP here. TMC clearly not willing to give any kind of access to the interministerial teams which are there at the moment.
Well, the interministerial team, as we are picking up now, they have been given permission to go out and do their own inspection, but there is a condition. A liaison officer from the state government would also be there. Well, the state had taken serious objection of the fact that the central team had arrived to the state without any consultation with the state government. Neither Mamata Banerjee, who is the chief minister, nor the chief secretary who were consulted for such a move by the central government. In fact, the chief minister had apparently received the letter from the Indian Home Ministry 30 minutes before the team had actually landed in Kolkata. The team had arrived yesterday in a cargo aircraft, and Mamata Banerjee had seen that nothing but a violation of the federal structure, that the state was not consulted, the state was not discussed upon, the criteria was not explained as what was the criteria adopted to select all these places, and the places which the central government had selected for inspection, Mamata Banerjee believes had lacked facts and current data for stringent measures or for a sudden inspection by the central government. So yes, at this point in time, what we are picking up after the Chief Secretary had met with the central team this afternoon, a meeting that happened at the BSF camp in Kolkata, it is now coming to light that the state government is allowing the interministerial team to go out and do the inspection. As you rightly mentioned, there are two teams in Bengal, one in Kolkata, to be covering districts like Kolkata, Howrah, North 24 Parganas, and also Midnapur districts, and there is another team which has already landed in North Bengal, which will be covering districts in North Bengal region. So yes, the teams would now be allowed, but with a liaison officer, because the state government believes without consulting with the state government, without taking their opinion, or without approaching the state government at the first place, after having landed in Kolkata, having started their own inspection, was something they had construed as a violation of the federal protocol. The reason why the objections were raised, but it seems like some negotiations have happened, some understanding has now been arrived at, and the central team will be allowed to go ahead and do their own inspection with a state liaison officer.
All right, Tamal, so essentially right now you're saying that sort of a consensus has been reached, and the interministerial team will be given access at this point in time with the state person as well present over there. Thanks so much for joining us with those details. Meanwhile, two interministerial teams have also reached Maharashtra to assess the lockdown situation. In fact, they will be meeting civic body officials both in Mumbai as well as Pune, which are, remember, two hotspots in the state of Maharashtra where there are multiple cases have emerged as well. We'll just try and get you some more details, but those are the details at this point in time. These teams are going to assess the lockdown situation in Mumbai and in Pune. Remember, Mumbai, within Maharashtra, Mumbai is the city where there are the maximum number of cases. There are several clusters also in Mumbai where multiple cases, in fact, have been emerging. So these interministerial teams, which are in Maharashtra at this point in time, will be assessing the implementation at this point in time. Let me go across to my colleague Mayuresh, who's joining me right now. Mayuresh, help us understand exactly what the interministerial teams are going to assess. What is the kind of implementation that they're going to check on, given that Mumbai, especially Mumbai and Pune, both are hotspots of the virus right now?
Certainly, these are two hotspots in Maharashtra. And if you remember that when the last cabinet meeting happened, the discussion happened around these two cities only, because government feels that there is a major problem in these two cities because a rising number is their concern. So these two teams have arrived last night. They have met Chief Secretary of Maharashtra, also the BMC Commissioner, the Divisional Commissioner of Pune. We have been also given to understand that these two teams will hit the field also. They will go on the field. They will monitor the situation. They will see the preparedness. And also, they are likely to visit the government, or especially the BMC-run hospitals and the corporation-run hospital in the Pune, to see that how the patients are getting treatment and what is the line of the treatment.
All right, Mayuresh, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. Meanwhile, in the state of Telangana, as cases of coronavirus rise to 872, the state government has converted an abandoned sports residential building into a multi-speciality hospital. Now, the revamped building is known as the Telangana Institute of Medical Sciences and Research Center. Take a look at this report.
Late last evening, Telangana Chief Minister KCR decided to give this building a new lease of life. and call it as Telangana Institute of Medical Sciences. If you can see that board there, it says Center for the COVID-19, which is an annex of the Usmania Hospital, which is a very popular government hospital. And this 13-floor building was built in 2007 for the World Military Games. The players used it for residential purpose, and ever since it has been abandoned due to financial constraints. The Telangana government has now decided to convert this into a multi-specialty hospital. 750 beds, normal beds will be available, and 750 super specialty beds would be arranged. And if you can see on this side, you can see hundreds of contract laborers who have gathered here. They have been working for the last 15 days to convert this into a corona specialty hospital. Day and night they have been working. They are working on plumbing, and in a record time of 15 days, the government has given the entire building a facelift, and in international standards they have constructed inside as well partitions, beds, supplies, everything has been given, and they're hoping that in case the numbers exponentially increases, they will be using this as well. The government has rechristened this particular building as the Telangana Institute of Medical Sciences and Research Center, and will be used in the west region of the city for attending to thousands of patients' medical needs.
1st of April, the hostel complex, Gachibowli Stadium complex, was handed over to us as an annex of Usmania Hospital to convert this facility as a COVID-19 center. So, seeing the infrastructure and all, we started with ground floor plus 13 floors we have. So, ground floor we have created on the left side around 50 bedded ICCU, which is functional as on today, and half of the block is for administration. Then each floor, around 13 floors we have. In each floor we have 36 rooms, wherein each isolation room has 2 beds with the ICMR guidelines and all, and EMR from Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Delhi.
Meanwhile, the Indian Council of Medical Research has given clearance for the convalescent plasma treatment to a 17-member team of doctors in Kerala. Now, this team will begin the collection of convalescent serum from potential donors. The team, in fact, hopes for a breakthrough in the coming months. Remember, Kerala has reported a total of 702 cases till date. Take a look at this report. Vivek spoke to one of the doctors from that team.
Now that the Drug Control of India has given the go-ahead of this convalescent plasma treatment of the therapy, what are the steps, what are the things that is going to happen from now onwards?
Okay. First of all, there is a slight disconnect between the Kerala State Task Force and the ICMR approval of the convalescent serum treatment for COVID patients. The task force was not authorized or was not asked to make a comment on this treatment. This is an issue which came up because we don't have too many options now when we are confronting a COVID-19 patient. So we want to try everything that's available. So we went back to the days when influenza was quite ravaging all over the world, the big pandemic of influenza. And one of the treatments we tried at that time is to take the sera of patients. You know what serum is? If you allow the blood to clot, the yellow colored fluid that stands up on the top of the clotted blood is a serum. If you want to call it plasma, that's also appropriate. When you take the fibrinogen out of plasma, it becomes a serum. The plasma is rich in proteins. And we know that most of the infections in the body are handled by the body by producing antibodies, which are proteins. The 2 types of antibodies. The one group is what we call as the passive antibody, which is not sustainable. It stays in the system only for a short while, maybe a few weeks. And the active immunity, which is mediated by your T lymphocytes, the lymphocyte in the blood. Now, when we didn't have enough treatment for the pandemic influenza, by common sense, 100 years ago, we tried to use the convalescent serum or plasma of the patients who recovered from the flu and gave it to the patients. And some people did well. The problem is we repeated that in so many other diseases. For example, respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, a very common infection in children and adolescents. The use of convalescent serum was excellent.
Meanwhile, in the national capital at Azadpur Mandi, lockdown norms were violated. Remember, Delhi government had allowed Azadpur Mandi to remain open for 24 hours from today. So from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., vegetables and fruits would be sold, while from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., truck movement would be allowed in and out of the market. And every 4 hours, 1,000 people would be allowed, is what the Delhi government had in fact said.
Vegetables and fruit are one of the essentials that fall under the essential goods category. And if we show you around, we are right now at the Azadpur Mandi. And if you see, there is a lot of police presence over here, a lot of people also present here. The RAF is also here. And with the bandobast that you see around, it clearly gives you an indication that Mandi, this particular Mandi, has lot of people moving around, people not paying heed to the lockdown. If I can tell my camera person to show you around, he's going to show you scenes of what doesn't look like a lockdown anymore. There's so many people on the streets walking around. On the right hand side, you can see the market running exactly the same way. It runs on an everyday basis. And this is the scene here. You have vegetables also on the go. And with this being allowed at the Mandi, you can see how people have gathered here. There are so many people over here in groups, standing in groups here. You can see elderly people over here in groups. The police is continuously doing its announcements, but it doesn't seem to be falling into, doesn't seem to be making sense to the people over here. It's all falling into deaf ear. You can see the security guard also telling them to keep moving, not to stand in one place. But with the presence over here, the people's presence over here, clearly is something that is really shocking, because this is not something that you expect on a lockdown. You expect people to stay inside. Only minimal movement of people would be allowed here. But this doesn't look like minimal movement. You see so many people here.
Meanwhile, multiple instances of violations have been coming in from across the country. Now in Mumbai, this was a bid to curb a lockdown violation. I beg your pardon, this was in Maharashtra's Thane area, in fact, where the police resorted to unique measures. Cops, in fact, performed aarti of people who were out on the streets for a morning walk amid the lockdown in order to shame the violators. In fact, let me go across to Neha, who's joining us for some more details on this. Neha, obviously there have been various attempts by the police to try and shame the violators and to help them understand that they need to be inside and not be out without a reason. And this is yet another unique way by performing this kind of aarti of the violators, at least in an effort to shame them.
Absolutely, Avni. And you've seen Mumbai Police and Thane Cops even taking such initiatives even before, be it telling them in person or even on social media through various messages and various means to stay indoors and also follow the lockdown measures. Now, in this case, specifically what happened is the Thane Cops took this measure because a lot of people continued to take morning rounds and they were not listening to the cops, which is when a female cop here took aarti of some of them who came for morning rounds, and the other cop was kind of telling them through the aarti that how following lockdown measures is important and they should stay indoors and they should not flout these rules. But Avni, the main important thing here being that the lockdown measures, the violation is still happening. People need to understand that unless essential, they should not step outside, and this is what the cops were also trying to tell.
All right, Neha, thanks so much for joining us with all of those details. So yet another effort to try and shame violators to actually remain inside. Let's in fact hope that that actually works. All right, let's now slip into a quick break, but we've got lots more lined up on the big story. Stay tuned. Let's get you a shocking incident that's come in from Araria in Bihar. A government officer from agriculture from the agriculture department lost his school when he was stopped at a checkpoint by a home guard during the lockdown. He went on to humiliate the home guard by asking him to do sit-ups on the road. And after the incident of the video went viral, the government took cognizance and assured action against the government official.
मैंने वहाँ के एसपी से बात करी है, वहाँ के आईजी से बात करी है, उसके बारे में मैंने इसका इसकी सूचना मैंने सरकार को भी दे दी है। सरकार इसका संज्ञान ले रही है। हम जांच रिपोर्ट का इंतजार कर रहे हैं। जांच रिपोर्ट आज तक आ जाएगी। चौकीदार को, वो सिपाही नहीं है, वो चौकीदार है, लेकिन चौकीदार हमारा अंग है, प्रशासन का अंग है, हमारी सबसे बड़ी छोटी इकाई है। चौकीदार की इज्जत को खराब करके जो अधिकारी अपनी इज्जत बनाना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए मुझे बहुत अफसोस है। ये बहुत ही शर्म की बात है। मुझे बहुत ही कहते हुए खराब लग रहा है कि ह्यूमन डिग्निटी इज ह्यूमन डिग्निटी। ये हमारा चौकीदार भी उतना इम्पोर्टेंट है, सिपाही भी उतना इम्पोर्टेंट है, उसकी भी उतनी ही इज्जत है जितने किसी बड़े IAS और IPS अधिकारी की है। तो आदमी के सम्मान के साथ समझौता नहीं करना चाहिए।
Let me in fact go across to Sham, who's joining us on the phone line. Sham, what can you tell us about this incident here? VVIP arrogance on full display. All right, we'll get to Sham in just a minute. We'll just try connecting with him. But this was a shocking incident from Araria in Bihar, where a government officer from the Agriculture Department lost his cool when he was stopped at a checkpoint by a home guard. Obviously, this happened during the lockdown. He went on to humiliate the home guard by asking him to do sit-ups on the road. Now, after the video of the incident went viral, the government took cognizance and assured action against the government official. You can see the visual there on your screen. The home guard being made to do sit-ups by the government officer from the Agriculture Department because he was asked to stop. On that note, time to slip into a quick break. We'll get lots more for you on the other side. Stay tuned.